which I think is a much cooler name than youth advisor. Um, so I'm a student at Prospect High School. I'm a sophomore, and I have a bunch of stuff written, but I'm going to try to improv a bit because I've got more to share than just this. But I have not been affected personally by domestic violence, but I've seen it all around me. I've seen it with my classmates. I've seen how it affects our world. I've seen how sexual assault and all of these issues affect our world. And I think that a lot of the way that we can make this change is by getting the youth involved, because we are the ones who are going to be taking this on 50 years from now, and we are the ones who are going to be fighting for our futures. And I'm sure most of you have noticed, but a lot of the time the voice of a youth goes farther than the voice of an adult. If you see those youth activists and youth leaders on the television or your phones, they catch your eye, and we can cause a lot of change that way. So I think a lot of how we can help avoid this dating violence is by starting with the kids and by educating them and making sure that we have resources and programs that help teens a lot earlier in their lives, so that we can teach them what a healthy relationship is before they get into worse relationships. We also need to remember that they're going through these relationships too, with abuse and violence. I've seen a lot of my peers get into incompatible relationships, and if it's not the ones that last a week, it's the ones that last far too long and get people hurt. And they don't know how to get out of those relationships because they don't have someone helping them, and they don't have the resources that will help them. I think sometimes the hardest part about getting support for the youth is that it's hard for us to picture the little kids that we see running around on the playground or the high schoolers talking with their friends as the people who are going through these issues, but they are. I went to a middle school that was connected to an elementary school, and by the time I'd reached 8th grade, I'd seen hardship, and I had seen it from starting at a young age. But still, when I looked out at the elementary school and saw the extremely short children who somehow 3 years ago were me, I still couldn't believe that they could be going through difficulties like I had. We can't picture that because they're our brothers or sisters or siblings or cousins or children, and they are people we're supposed to protect and people we're supposed to help. And picturing them as people who are struggling and going through all of these issues, it's difficult, and it's difficult to feel that way. We might feel like we failed them or whatever the case may be, but it's important that we accept that and understand that and try to get them the support that they need. Finally, I think that we do have to make sure that we include the voices of the youth in our community to ensure that we get all of these programmings that can help, because teenagers, well, they're a little hard to connect to sometimes, and they're a little hard to help out in some situations. Sorry. I'm really happy that I've been able to share my thoughts and my voice and to advocate for these issues with Next Door Solutions in helping them get new programs for youth and in getting more teen support groups, and especially now as they're launching a new program called Coaching Boys into Men for high school athletes. This will educate high schoolers and athletes who are big members in the community into knowing what a healthy relationship is, and into learning respect and in positive communication with other youth, which will really help in our future. Because we have ideas, we have passion and commitment, and we have the ability to make a big difference in our futures, a big difference. We can work alongside adults to end this violence if we can, because we can. And we can learn what we don't know yet, because we don't know a lot, and that's true, but we're learning fast with the school shootings and all of the crazy things going on right now, and the government and natural disasters and everything. We've seen it. We've grown up with it. We can learn how to work better, and we learn fast because we're kids. That's what we do. So all we need to get this going and to do all of this is support and the opportunity. Thank you.